Alright, so it's 10:49 in the morning, y'all, and we had a Karen come up to one of my street brothers' cars and start bitching about, and she's done this several times with the dogs in the car because, we're homeless, so apparently the dog's health is more important than us. Because she's come up several times, well, the dog shouldn't be living in that condition. Yeah, well, what about us living in this condition? Humans are always more important than animals. If they are not to you, that's a red flag. Because in survival situations, when you don't have enough food, like in a very extreme setting, that's your food bank, your dog. Because humans are always more important than animals, and I want to clear that up. Because you will not believe the level of discrimination that homeless people get, and y'all forget one payment, one situation, you'd be out on the streets just like us. This whole thing of trying to clear us off the streets because y'all don't feel comfortable, where else are we supposed to go? You blame us for getting in this situation. Well, there's multiple reasons why we're in this situation. I have an abusive family that kicked me out 3.5 months pregnant in the dead cold of winter, the coldest freeze we ever had 2 years ago. That's why I'm homeless, and they refuse to help me even though I've asked several times. So that's one reason, is you have either missed payments, you have an abusive family, or the mental health category, autism, mental health impairments, disability impairments, and then the second category is tweakers. Not all of us are at fault for being homeless. And it's not a choice. It's not a choice to be homeless. And this whole thing of you guys getting insecure and worrying about the dog's health, I cannot emphasize how small that makes us feel. How worthless that makes us feel. That you care more about our animals than you do our own health conditions. Because somehow it's our fault that we're homeless. This Karen comes up to the car, and this dog in the car with our friend, my street brother, JJ, that's his service dog. And she's talking about giving his service dog away because no dog should live in this condition. You guys haven't fed it. We feed her when we can feed her. After we've fed ourselves and watered ourselves. After we've taken care of ourselves, do we take care of our dogs? And we try our hardest. You're going to take his service dog? Just because we're homeless and you think that this is animal abuse? Just because we're homeless and we're in a situation where we can't fully provide for ourselves or a dog? He got homeless with his puppy. And that's his service puppy. And you guys want to take that? How is a dog more important than a human in that situation? They're not. They never will be. Animals are always second best to humans. And that should always be the case. I've seen single mothers and single fathers and even families, low income, who put their dogs before their own starving children. That's an entirely different situation. But my point is, why is it suddenly homeless people without dogs don't get given random money? My friend, my other street brother, Ricky, we were out at El Favorito with his dog, Bowser. And people just kept giving us food for the dog. While we're sitting out there, don't have any food. They just keep giving us food for the dog. Giving us money, specifically, get food for the dog. Here's $20 for the dog. We haven't eaten in 2 days and all y'all care about is the fucking dog? When we're out on the streets on our own, nobody gives us food, water, any money, somehow because homelessness is our fault. How is... More than half the time it isn't. It's just rent is so goddamn high. How do you expect the younger generation to even get an apartment in this economy, a house in this economy? And all you care about is the fucking dog. What about humans? What about caring for humans? Caring for actual physical people. That doesn't matter to you guys? My issue with this is I had somebody who told me an experience with a friend that a friend got given $20 just because he had a dog, and he was told specifically it's for the dog. And this man went and bought himself a sandwich so he could eat himself, not the dog. And this motherfucker who gave him the money got so pissed on him, called the cops on him to get him in trouble for animal abuse because that money was for the dog, not for you to eat. What the hell? Like, and now homelessness is outlawed, pretty much. You can't camp anywhere. Where else are we supposed to go? More than half of us are busting our ass to either get cars, houses, or otherwise to get off the streets, with barely help from nobody because of the level of discrimination that we go through. And some Karen today has the audacity to come up and say, well, a dog shouldn't be living in this condition, the way you treat her and everything. She needs to be taken. That's his service dog, for one. For two, she also has just the brattiest attitude because she's quite young and she's a teenage dog. So she's rough to handle, but never, ever are we purposely hurting her for just malicious reasons. A smack on the ass you do for discipline. Smack on the nose you do for discipline. And use a harsh tone for when they're misbehaving. And this is how her friend handles it, like a mature human being. And it's just, the dog matters more apparently than humans starving, than humans not having food, water, clean place to live or sleep. Dogs matter more. Fuck the humans apparently. And we're not supposed to be mad? Bitch.